Tim Gillio, the rest of the story, she is October 10th, 2019. Well, people, we're getting close to the election. We're 11 days out. We're 5 days away from us going to court with this, with the Attorney General over the PMO lawsuit. Now, of course, they're going to, the whole issue of that was they threw in a jurisdictional challenge that I've countered. So instead of actually getting, this is a settlement conference, instead of actually getting to any settlement, we're going to be sitting there arguing jurisdiction because, you know what, I've counted your jurisdiction. I don't care. The courts are equal for everybody. So the judge, well, they're sitting there. I mean, there is no judge in this case. It's just we're talking back and forth. So, we'll bring in our evidence. We're not going to have time to claim it. We're going to end up going to trial, right? Which is just in front of a judge. But the whole point behind this was to get it past the election. That's what they did. So, depending on the outcome of the election, I mean, if we have a liberal win, then I think it's a moot point going to trial because we're going to be in the middle of hopefully we're in the middle of a hot shooting war. I mean, you might say hopefully. Well, the West can't continue the way it is. This crap's been going on for over 100 years, right? It's a lot of generations out here getting a little sick and tired of the bullshit from the East. Right? There was a little piece I read today, or I watched today, a little video I watched today, which was absolutely correct. Of all the things that were going on when Canada and Alberta entered Confederation, would they have entered Confederation if they were told that, we'll let you have this voting thing, except for we're going to decide the outcome of the vote long before it ever gets to you. Right? We're going to take 10 million or 10 or 15 or 20 billion dollars a year from you, and we're going to give you nothing back. We're going to hold all the products you make up. We're not going to let you distribute them across Canada, right? Would you still be part of Confederation with all those things, or if we say internationally, we went out of our way to stop you from selling your products internationally? So all the things that have happened, right? And right now, even as it sits with Canada, with Alberta's depressed economy, if Alberta separates, it has the second highest GDP in the world. That's GDP per capita. That's pretty damn good. That tells you that everything in Alberta was paid for Albertans. It's just kind of like Northeast BC. Pretty much everything in Northeast BC was paid for by the people who live in Northeast BC. At one point, we talked about this in a couple of videos. 1967, there was a referendum for Northeast BC to become part of Alberta. Unfortunately, they found oil in the same year, so the Alberta legislature never got a chance to actually ratify the agreement with BC. I believe BC did and Alberta didn't, so it's probably still sitting over Alberta. Maybe we should ask them just to ratify that and get that done and over with. That's not like anybody in southern BC really cares a whole lot about how much money comes out of here, right? I mean, while they're at it, while Alberta's going to cut off the oil and gas, we might as well cut it off from here. I think they get a little chilly down there. They got nicer winters, but still going to get a little chilly. Yeah, it's just me having fun with you guys. But reality is, this is an election of a lifetime. It's hard to get back into our talking points, of course, with the election going on. I mean, our talking points are what got us into this lawsuit with the PMO. It had to do with safety and the environment in the oil and gas industry. And it's not the application of safety to the environment the way these environmentalists want to do it. It's the working application of it and making it so it's more accountable, more transparent, and so that every man is responsible for it, not just the industry, but in a way that safety right now, as we described, is done as a clerical administrative aspect of safety, and so does the environment. No matter how much they want to yip about everything else and all these environmental industries and stewards that they have running around. The industry itself is, it's every man in the field that dictates and determines what's going to happen. If you get somebody building a pipeline and they get together with their buddies and they want to go out drinking, it's Friday night, and damn, we got to do a pressure test. I beat on the pressure testing thing because, again, that's my expertise. That's where my business works. And these workers decide, screw it, we'll just spin the charts and away we go. Well, we end up with results like things would happen to Nixon. You have a double-walled pipeline. It means you got two pipelines inside, one inside the other, and they both leaked. 9 months later, they discovered the leak. It's been operating for 9 months, but you got all this fancy recording system. How'd that happen? Well, again, we discussed that. You set parameters. The parameters are set based on these leaks. Therefore, how could you get? You couldn't lower the pressure anymore because it's already leaking. So it was a series of incidents that happened that really, who was at fault? Ultimately, it was the pressure tester who was at fault because they didn't do it. So from what I heard, through the grapevine, so I mean whether it's true or not, I don't know. But what I heard is they asked the weld inspector why he didn't inspect the weld there, and he said, "I don't inspect. There's no weld. What do you want me to expect?" So he said, "I went to the next weld. There's no weld on those joints." They asked the welders. Nobody was assigned those joints to weld. So I mean, you have all these different. You have a whole slew of things that happen. They asked the SCADA guys, supervisor control and data acquisition, how they could set their limits, right? Well, the way they were, so they set them based on the pressure, right? So whatever input pressure they had, if it dropped below that input pressure, well, it's already leaking. So it's never gonna drop below that input pressure. So they asked the pressure tester what happened. He says he never tested it. Well, why? Well, he's never told to. So that's kind of the way out. It's always he said, she said. Don't know, never knew. So we tried to devise a way with pressure testing, and also we've discussed this many times, to make sure that that disappears, that he said, she said stuff disappears, and we have at least an accountability record of that. But the overall field service management system, our issue with it is when we started developing it, we marketed it through the industry, through the government, we marketed to everybody we could market it to. We sent them copies of everything we did, assuming that back then, I mean, it's a long time ago, we were still industry partners. It was a little different industry. They weren't as corrupt as they are today, right? They weren't. I mean, if you want to get a view of that, if you go back to, since about 2008, 2009, since the advent of the States of the Obama administration, or the advent of this globalist New World Order push to get to Agenda 21 and Agenda 2020. Agenda 21, of course, being the one world government, and Agenda 2030 being the elimination of 7 billion souls on Earth. I was watching a show the other day where they were taking it was a sci-fi movie that a friend of mine watched. It came out about 4 or 5 years ago, and it was it's a B-rated movie, but it's actually a pretty good little movie. I can't remember what it's called, but the gist behind it was you have these elite, and the elite fly around the world, worlds, right? So they have multiple worlds. So worlds are created as incubators. Earth is just an incubator where they turn around and they grow the population till the population hits a certain density and starts to outstrip its resources. Then they harvest the human beings, turn the human beings into an essence to keep them youthful, keep them young. Now that's not far off with what the adrenochrome thing actually does, and why you're looking at these people as as you're finding out more and more about adrenochrome. That's kind of what they're doing. So by the time we reach 7 billion of us, are they going to harvest us all for adrenochrome? I mean, why let us go to waste? Might as well do something with us. But that's kind of their agenda. That's kind of what the Trump revolution is all about, or the Patriot Revolution. That's what you're trying to see, nationalism and populism, is saying basically go screw yourself. Right? There's 7 billion of us, there's only a couple million of you. Right? It's easier to eliminate a few million of you, and the rest of us will just live happily ever after, thanks. Well, at least till the next pricks show up. So, I mean, this is the cycle that's going on in the world forever and ever and ever. But we're not too concerned about that. That's kind of why I got into that topic, is because I want to bring up what you're seeing in the U.S., on the U.S. side, right now over this impeach. What they're really trying to do is they're trying to say, don't tell anybody, because you didn't just have Biden's son in there, filling the family pockets, but you also had Pelosi's son, and you had Romney's son, and you had John Kerry's son. So I mean, so these people are all sitting on the directors of these oil and gas companies in the Ukraine, filling their pockets up, stealing the money from the Ukrainians themselves, and that's what's happening in Canada. So when I pick on the board of directors, when I put out these lists of these directors, the reason we do that is to try to point out that these people aren't there for the health of our industry. They're there because they're placed there by these globalist hacks. So they're as responsible for destroying the industry as the government itself and the environmental movement itself is responsible for industry. This was done from the inside, outside, and you name it, it was done, right? Pick a side you want to name it from. They were, they infiltrated all sides to do this. So the reason when I say the industry itself has colluded with the government, right? They've corrupted the integrity of the entire safety system, so they could create They could create a means to extort the workers and the businesses. And how they did that, they included my field service management system in the training of the safety builder development course. So field service management system was part of the training software, or training system that they created. Now they didn't use it as it was designed or intended to be used. They it was something that was heavily marketed back in the day. And so when they put together their courseware, their development, they just decided to steal it. So when they decided to steal it, that squeaky door, the cat's going in and out of it. That's the doggy door. But anyhow, as they decided to steal this thing, unfortunately, they didn't ask for permission. They didn't pay for it. I mean, we had a change in government. We had a change in attitude. Government all decided, like the government's running today, that it's not liable or responsible. It can do as it damn well pleases, and us little peons can go, we can kiss their ass. And that's where we're at. So I said, you know what? I've had enough. A couple of years ago, we tried to build a system for pressure testing, tried to give it to them, right? Just so we can streamline the whole process, ensure accountability and liability, quit killing people, quit destroying the environment for no good reason. But as you've discovered with these people, these globalist clowns that pay for all these environmentalists, they really don't give a shit about the environment. They don't care about you, U.S. people. The whole idea is to poison the environment. They try to eliminate us as fast as they can. And you're seeing that starting to come down. So what Trump's doing in the U.S. and what Boris Johnson's doing, what they're doing in Italy, what they're doing, Australia now, hopefully Canada right away, we're starting to change. We're starting to get back to the people of your nation first, and not these globalist hacks, right? That consider themselves elite. Hopefully, a lot of them they hang sooner than later. Would be nice way to put it. You've jeopardized me, my family, you and your family, everybody watching this video, their family. It's time to jeopardize those people and their families. It's time that they hang, right? It's time that they suffer, because they've coming from Western Canada, and coming from the oil and gas industry. I tell you what, we know what suffering is. We talked about in the last election about the suicides and the rest of them are going on. I mean, I pick on the directors and officers of these companies for a damn good reason. I mean, a lot of these people just they abdicate and obfuscate because they got to. They got to feed their families, right? They go along to get along because they got to feed their damn family, so they allow this stuff to happen. They feel powerless. They don't really have a whole lot of control. Well, powerless is one way of putting it, but the field service management gives me a little bit of a control. Now, we talked about how the different ways I'm going to get it. How am I going to get you people to engage with me? And I'm going to have a conversation with a guy in exactly 45 minutes about this. How do we get you the workers in the industry engaged with me? Well, we've provided platforms for you. All I need you to do is go and sign the damn petition, right? I mean, financially, yeah, I mean, it's killing everybody. Fighting for you guys has killed my business. It's killed, it's taken everything I've got. And guess what? I'll keep going. I'll keep fighting. Why? Well, because you know what? I am a man. If you're not willing to join the fight, you're just a girl. Nothing against girls. You might put on clothes and you might think you're all big and tough. Guess what? You're just a sissy piece of shit, right? Get in the fight. Fight for your damn rights. Right? And that's the way I look at it. If you're not willing to fight for it, you're not willing to support somebody fighting for it, right? Then you got a right to shut the hell up. And that's just how it works. If you want to sit back and obfuscate and abdicate, and you want to I just have to, you want to bloviate and give me all the excuses in the world why you're going to let somebody ram it up your what, then I suggest, right, you go get a job wearing a damn skirt. Because you know what? This industry, we got to take the industry back. There's guys sitting there, CEOs sitting there that are bent over all the time. They got no damn choice because they're bent over. They created these babies, and these bankers have come in, right? And these globalists, and they bend them over for their agenda. So let's help these guys take it back, right? We've done a good job in Alberta. We got rid of the NDP. How the hell they got in? I can guarantee you that was they didn't win. Right? Same as the Liberals didn't win last time. The Liberals got to go this time too. We're going to send a letter off again to the White House, and I will ask them for help. I'm going to ask them for help. Right? I mean, we've given them reasons to come after the nation. Right? That they have a valid reason to come after us. I mean, we explained that in several of the previous posts, the previous videos. You can go back and watch them. But again, we're going to continue to beat on the same story. So I've asked you guys to sign the damn petition. We'll take the petition. You sign it. We can present it to the oil and gas industry. We want to do this by the end of the month. The oil and gas industry is already shutting down. Let's make some changes. The way they've set it up with the safety crap today, the way they're extorting everybody, they've basically destroyed their ability to scale up the industry. So even when they want to scale it up, it's going to be very difficult to do. We're going to have all these inexperienced people come in, right? If we don't get safety done now, we don't get it done correctly, where we empower you, we get rid of this clerical administrative crap, right, and become really accountable for stuff. What's going to happen is the dollars are going out, and the dollars are getting shorter and shorter and shorter, and these investors want more and more and more, especially as what's going on in the States. And he starts to put the squeeze on them down there. That's where our investors are. Those are the people that own us. So they start to get the squeeze. They're going to want more and more capital. It's going to come out of here. They're going to get riskier and riskier and riskier. They're going to jeopardize your life, just like they did in West Ray. They don't give a shit about you. So if you want to make them accountable, you want to protect yourself, this is it. There's nobody else standing up fighting for you. So give us a hand. Help us out, right? If you got a few bucks, somebody's got a few bucks, ask them to kick us a few bucks so we can get this lawsuit, get this crap going. Getting rid of Trudeau, getting rid of Kenny. Kenny was the first step. BC getting rid of this Horgan retard, it's the second step. Well, that's the third step. Second step is getting rid of Liberals. If not, none of it matters anyhow, right? We'll get rid of them all in one shot, right? That's what civil war has a tendency to do. They get rid of us, we get rid of them. Doesn't matter, right? It should be good time in the trenches. Just don't get trench foot. Anyhow, you guys have a good one, right? Again, if you can help us, help out. Least you can do is sign it for me, right? Sign the damn petition, right? They're extorting you as much as they're extorting me, right? You guys want to get extorted? Hey, you should be pissed off. That guy comes into your house, takes the food off your table. That's what they're doing to you. So, you know what? Let's put an end to it. You guys have a good day. And the next guy notices I got a scar running down my face. You see it all lines up. That's from when I had cancer. So, we survived cancer. It's not a big deal. It's 20 years ago this year. 5 years for that, I had a heart attack. I still worked in the oil patch. I'm still back to work. Right? There's no reason you can't continue. There's no reason if I can continue after all the crap I've had in my life, you can continue. So you guys, help me out. Help yourselves. Right? Help this organization move forward. You have a wonderful day. I got a meeting to be to in 20 minutes, and I got a 15-minute drive. So have a good one, guys.